Yeah. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now here at ACC Tip-Off, getting men's basketball season started. Jeff Capel, Pitt head coach, obviously back to his playing days, 4-year starting guard at Duke. Coach, thank you for taking the time. Before we dive into the Pitt season and this upcoming season, I want to ask you about kind of the state of basketball in the ACC. It felt ridiculous, but with all the moving parts and the teams coming in this offseason, we actually had segments on this show where like the title in our notes was basketball still matters, right? Basketball is still important. How do we make sure that basketball isn't swept behind everything else going on in this ever-changing sports world?
Yeah, I mean, how do you change the narrative
exactly
of the way people think? I think one of the things we can do as basketball programs and players and coaches in this league is that we can be better in the preseason as far as the non-conference schedule, the non-conference slate. I think that's where we can do our part. And then hopefully if we do that, the respect that's historically has been there for our league will come back to the level in which it was. That's the thing that's been very puzzling to me, is that it seems like the respect for our league, which it always was when I was growing up and as a player when I was a part of it, that's changed. And I don't really understand why, because our teams do incredibly well once we get to the NCAA tournament. We've had more national champions, more Final Four members, more first-round picks, more All-Americans. Really, all of those
you name
things
the
when you
metric.
look at it.
Yeah.
When you look at the most viewed games historically, last 10 years, last 5 years, it's been from this league. It almost seems like there's some resentment towards that.
Will you be jacked up for those California cross-country flights next year?
I will be.
Okay.
I will be. Look, I'm excited wherever we can go and play, and anything. I think it was something that the league needed to do. We had to do something. We can't sit pat. I think the people that sit pat, and that are stuck in old ways of this is the way we've always done it, I think you get past when you do that. So I commend the commissioner of going out and finding the best deal for our league, for the ACC. I've never been to Stanford. I've always wanted to go, so now I get a chance to go where I don't have to
Palo
pay for
Alto,
it.
yeah, there you go. Check it off the list.
Exactly. But I think those, Stanford is a brand, is a global brand. And I think them being in the ACC will help them get back to the level they were under Mike Montgomery. Johnny Dawkins had a few years there when he was really good. So I think this will help. Cal has a basketball history. I think being a part of that. Certainly SMU, you get the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a lot of talent there. So I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to tap into Texas too with some recruiting, knowing that we'll go back there and play.
Bringing up recruiting, you're nationally known and especially to our listeners in the Triangle for your recruiting during your time as an assistant at Duke. But that was all kind of before NIL. Now that you're the head coach, the entire world changes. And now you're head coach at Pitt, obviously. You had previous stops. The whole world changes when it comes to recruiting. How does name, image, and likeness change maybe the pitch you're making or the questions you're being asked?
Yeah, well, I think, first and foremost, the title of Duke is being this great recruiter. I always thought I had the big joker, with Coach K.
Okay.
He was the best recruiter. He was the guy. All of us, did
the
our
sites
part.
all say, recruited by, and then it's your name there. So if we're giving you the credit, take the credit.
No, I mean, I appreciate the credit. I'm just saying, you really find out who can really recruit when you leave there. If you look at it, if you go back, when whoever were the assistants, when Coach got Dawkins, Allery, Billis, and that, those are the best recruiters because that's the group that changed it. Then Amaker was a great recruiter. Snyder was a great recruiter. Dawkins and Collins and Wojo, myself, John. The one thing that's in common, though, is Coach was there. And John is, will continue to sustain that. It's a different challenge when you don't have that behind you. You don't have the history. You don't have that. So certainly when I went to Pittsburgh, it's a completely different challenge. NIL helps us. It can help. It can help maybe level it. It can help maybe get us in the door with some people that perhaps we couldn't get in the door because you can offer them money. I mean, and it's legal now. Or your collective can offer
Exactly.
money. And so, we're fortunate that we have a group of people there at the University of Pittsburgh with the collective that have helped us. But for me, the thing that I've learned probably the past 2 years is it's making sure we have guys that are grateful and appreciative to be at the University of Pittsburgh, to be in the city of Pittsburgh, and to wear that uniform. That's something that I thought we really had at a high level last year. I think we have it now, and it's something that we're going to fight. I'm going to really fight for going forward.
Jeff Capel, Pitt head coach, men's basketball, joining us here, ACC tip-off in Charlotte on the drive. The other thing that's kind of new and different is the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And what's the pitch to get players like Zach Austin, who's expected to be a contributor, and those to come in and help you build on the success of last year when you jumped up to that mid-20s win season?
Yeah, well, I think the thing that we try to talk about is we don't just take a guy from the portal just to take him. It has to be someone we think that fits a need and fulfills a need. And hopefully what we've been able to do, I thought it helped us this year, was the fact that Nelly Cummings, Greg Elliott, Jamarius Burton 2 years ago, Blake Henson, Nike Sabande, all these guys transferred in, and that was really a big core of who we were last year. All of those guys had success. And I think when you can show that guys that transfer, and we talked about a need, we needed them at this spot, not just that we want them. And so Zach is a need, Ish is a need for us this year. We need those guys to be really good and to play for us and to play, quality minutes and be really good players. We think they will be. And I think that's recruiting. If you can show that you can have success and guys individually and collectively can have success, that's when you have a chance to continue to get high-level guys.
You mentioned Blake Hinson as a previous transfer. Are you getting almost like a new player this year? I've heard he's dropped like 30, 35 pounds, or half the player he was in the past.
Yeah, I think he was really good. He was a surprise. We thought he'd be good, not like he was, just being honest with you. He really took the offseason very seriously. He tested the waters. He did it so he could get feedback of what they thought he needed to work on. He took that to heart, and he lost 25 to 30 pounds. He's in better shape, obviously. He's a little bit more athletic. He's able to do a little bit more off the bounce. Obviously, he can still really shoot it. He has a great joy, and he's an unbelievable guy to be around. I can't say kid. He's an unbelievable guy to be around every day. And his positive energy and just his energy has really been a big reason of the change in our program.
Last one before we let you go, Coach. We're talking with Jeff Capel, Jeff Capel, Pitt head coach. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was. You don't want to make that mistake. Although there is a Capel that played for that. There's complications. But before we let you go,
into that again,
I was going to say I wasn't going to lead you down that path. But we'll end with this one. So many people do remember you from your time as kind of a do-it-all four-year starter for Duke. This could be one of your players, could be someone you scout against. What ACC guard reminds you most of you from your playing days?
Man, all these guys are better than me. I mean, they are. Like, the game is
self-aware. I like it. Humble. Now give us your answer.
So much, and these guys now, man, all of them are better with the ball. Like, they're more creative. They're just as athletic. I mean, I was a pretty good athlete. They're just as athletic. I had good size for a guard. But these guys, man, all of these guys are really good. I admire these guys in this league, and what they have to deal with now is so much different, and I think more difficult. And how these young people navigate social media, all the pressures, and all of that stuff. I have so much admiration because the players in this league, especially the guards, are all really good. They all seem like really good guys. I mean, you play against them, but being here and being around these guys from other programs and seeing how respectful and polite, I think they love being in the ACC. So I admire them all, man, and all of them are better than I was.
Well, if Jeff Capel was just a pretty good athlete, I don't know what that says about the rest of us. I appreciate you for stopping by the show, and good luck this season.
All right. Take care.